when I start watching it, I get pretty good at art. It's like I just walk around my house all day and the dogs just look at me and I just it's a pinky fucking board.
I literally do the same thing. I've traumatized Cooper certain times with certain accents.
Tom Hardy is the fucking bomb in that fucking show.
Cooper does not like when I make other like noises, or like he hates gurgling noises. So I had a recent, this is not appropriate to what our subject is, but I'm just going to put it forward anyway. Who cares? You guys know we start where we start. But I had a recent sinus infection, so I had to gargle with hydrogen peroxide. I mean, I was so beyond salt gargle at that point. Like my whole body, I think, was infected.
Yeah, I've done that before.
But anyway, I made the gargle noise, gargle, gargle, gargle. And Cooper would come in and just bark at me, bark, bark, bark. Like, you're dying. This is gross. I don't know what he thought was happening. If he thought somebody had me like with a knife at my throat, but he was upset.
Just protect mode,
I guess so. For me gargling, I'm like, it's just me and the gargling. He's like, but it's killing my mom. Well, this week
she's supposed to be healing, but
she's dying. She's dying, and if I bark at her, she won't die. That's the thing, because he knows that when he barks, I won't die because I'm going to go, Cooper, no bark, and I'll yell at him, and then that clears my throat.
I mean,
makes sense.
That's actually pretty logical.
It actually is. I love him so much. He's not in the room with me today though, because he was outside because bacon and eggs were being made, and he would have been a menace as we were recording if he had been in this room. Because bacon and eggs, come on, man.
I got Eddie like right there.
Oh, Eddie. I love you, Eddie. Auntie Jen loves you.
It scares me when they do that though, because like I'm always afraid I'm gonna like roll into them in my dumb chair.
Same, yeah, same. I have the rolling chair. Same. I'm on carpet though. Are you on like a hard floor?
No, yeah, I'm on a hard floor. I'm on like straight concrete.
Oh my God, that must be hard on your feet.
No, it's great.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's nice. It's nice and cool on your feet. I bet when it's hot in the summer.
In the late 90s, they did an upgrade to the house and like pulled out all the carpet and like put in like fancy tile everywhere.
Yeah.
And which it's great, but then they didn't do these back 2 bedrooms. So the first thing I did when I moved back in here was rip all the carpet out.
Well, yeah, and I just take it straight down.
I just take it straight down the concrete.
Exactly. I think that's so great. It's so much cleaner too. We had this one place that we had to renovate, and they had carpet in the bathrooms. That was pretty gross.
It's like to me, it's always been like you're stapling dirty towels to your floor.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
exactly. Which is the opposite of
no offense to the carpet industry or anyone out there who sells carpet. Okay. But it's not for me. It's not for my allergies. It's not good for my allergies.
Maybe that space was a liminal space for the bacteria. I'm like, how does it tie into our new theme of our show?
I don't need a liminal space for bacteria.
That's what my sinuses were for like a couple weeks. Now I'm not. Now I'm just clear. Well, as you guys know, we are diving into season 7. We're doing like in between spaces, heterotropia, liminal spaces, whatever you want to call it. We may even call it something different in 5 minutes because
the cave of time,
the cave of wonders. Like it's not really of time. What is time?
I just want to shout out Choose Your Own Adventure.
So this week, last week, I thought we picked our patron saint of the season 7 with Bezalio, this angel that's not really an angel. He's an angel.
I've been scared for a whole week, Jen. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I mean, you're right. It fits. But yeah, I've been
it kind of fits because he's been cast out of heaven. He's been cast out of hell. He's like the shadow of God or whatever.
No, he's mean.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Literally. Okay. Doesn't it feel like that? But how about this one? We've got a new one to consider as the patron saint of season 7, the Morrigan. This is like a goddess. It's a sisterhood of many in one. And I have been going deep with the Morrigan for over a year now. I didn't even know I was learning about her
The
until
Morrigan.
the Morrigan.
I bet she's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Now, listen, her Tinder profile would you'd either like really swipe or you'd be like, oh, maybe someone to avoid. I think what's so interesting about the Morgan, the reason why there's the is it's a title. So I've been studying this Irish goddess and I learned that the Morgan is many in one. Apparently, the Celtic love three things in one, three versions of a god or goddess as one. But how she came to me, and I'm going to
That's
say
pretty
she,
typical and common as far as like,
I think so. Yeah, with a
it's
lot of them.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
and you have
same, they
the
do the same thing with
different faces of a god
yeah, they do the
almost.
same thing with Selene and
Oh, really?
Artemis and
Oh,
like it's the moon, it's Diana, Artemis, and Hecate.
oh, Hecate. Yeah. Okay, I have heard of those. Whoa, that's interesting. Well, they could be in the running to be our patron saint, but let's give the Morrigan a chance. She started coming to me with these giant ravens. They would just sit over the pole. I would like park, and there she would be, right? Like I didn't know about the Morgan when she started showing up. She was definitely not subtle. And she has kind of taught me that there's power when I mine my anger and my hurt. There's like this potent power that's enough that I can scorch a path to healing. It's crazy. She's known to be difficult to work with. And I don't know if I should say they because it's many in one, but I'm going to say she.
Sure. And can I just tell everybody out there that like
Yeah,
Jen got really into the Morgan thing.
I know. I'm
Like
so into her.
she's really into it. Like we send each other books, and so she sent me a picture when she got the book, and she goes, yeah, I'll send this to you when I get done. And then about a week later, she's like, I'm gonna have to hang on to this one.
I'm never sending this one.
I was like, it's fine.
Get your own.
I'll order my own.
I'm like, get your own. You know how you like
It was just funny though, because
was one of those,
I was like, oh, okay, somebody's really resonating with somebody right now.
it's like when you have like really good food and you like, and somebody else has really good food and you say you want a bite and then you take a bite and they're like, fine, just eat the whole thing. That was me with the Morgan book.
Yeah, you can have my fries.
So I'm currently reading that book. It's titled Priestess of the Morgan by Stephanie Woodfield. And I know I was fated to read this book because yesterday, two things happened that showed up on the pages that I would read in bed before I read them. First, I dreamt of running up and down a spiral staircase that was made of concrete for exercise. I only stopped to refresh my water bottle with these like ice chips. And this is just a funny aside because I swear I have to tell you the rest of the story. But who's the actor? Ryan Gosling. He was at the bottom and he was all sweaty and he goes, "Where'd you get that ice?" And I said, "Over here." And I showed him the drinking fountain. And then I started running up and down the spiral staircase again.
He should have said, like, why are we running up and down a spiral staircase?
He had to have his Hollywood body, apparently.
But I mean, who runs up and down a spiral staircase? What were you in a were you in a tower in a castle? Like what's going on?
It was like this dark. I don't actually know. It was like
I'm going to exercise.
Dark.
You going to the gym, Jet? No, I'm going to the lighthouse.
I just went up and down. I wish there was no light at the top or the bottom. What I noticed, and I actually forgot about till right now, there were people that were running up and down the staircase and they were putting Post-its on the face of some of the stairs. I don't know if it was to count how many reps they'd done or if it was notes to themselves, like, I'm going to die. I better write this down on a Post-it. Like, where'd they find the fucking Post-it? In my dream, it was so weird. Anyway, but the big takeaway is it was a spiral staircase. And on page 75 that I read, that night, Woodfield writes about working with the Morrigan, channeling them in a trance, saying this quote, "It is like walking down a long spiral staircase, each step taking you down deeper and deeper. One cannot skip from the first step to the bottom landing," end quote. Okay, but that wasn't it that day. Later in the day, I was running this errand and I was stopped at a traffic light. And above this traffic light across the street were hundreds of blackbirds. They were like diving and swooping and circling. And it was like they were all of one mind. It felt like not menacing, just playful. Okay, in bed, reading page 52. Here is the dream that Stephanie shares with that one of her cohorts recorded. Her friend has like a what is it called? A photographic memory. And she told Stephanie, "Yes, you were singing. I told you it's all sorts of strangeness." Maka, who's one of the faces of Morgan, was singing too. I wrote it down. You were singing about blackbirds. They will help you if you let them. A flock of blackbirds flying, a cloak of feathers on you, bringing strength when times are trying. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Then, when I was buying this actual book that I meant to give to Jesse, and I totally have reneged on him, and I'm a bad friend, in this Denver witch store, the cashier, he looked at me directly in my face and he goes, "You need to be careful. Working with the Morgan is no joke." And that is the kind of response that this goddess elicits from people. And early pages of the book that I purchased that I will never, pull it out of my dead hands, my cold dead hands.
My cold dead hands.
Cold dead hands. That was better, but not as good. Priestess of the Morgan is the name of it. So here is the passage that it made me feel like I'm not afraid to work with her. I've been working with her and I didn't even know her name. Here's the passage. There seems to be a general feeling that the Morrigan is angry all the time, always in battle fury mode, always ready for blood. And by the way, battle fury mode is different than battle furry mode, but always ready for blood. That this imagery must be the totality of her personality. I have been a priestess of the Morrigan for over 20 years now, and it still surprises me how often I come across these ideas, how superficially we view the gods. Still, after all this time, all we see is war in her. And even then, all we see is the romanticized ideal of war, not the truth of it, not the truth of her. The author feels one of the faces of the Morgan stirs in her and starts speaking, saying this, "I am more. I am so much more. Show them." And then the author writes this. When the reading is done, she was doing a reading for someone, "I still feel Bob's shadow upon me." And Bob is the other name, other face of Morgan. That shadow is upon her. Offerings are made at our makeshift hotel room at the time, an altar next to the coffee maker. And I ask her why her children cannot see past this one face of her, one aspect of her. And Bob speaks again. "If you want war, I will give it to you. If you wish to fight endlessly, I will give you what you want because you have asked me. I will fill your belly so full of blood that you will beg to see my other faces. The lesson will be as easy or as difficult as you wish it to be. Some will destroy themselves and never see me fully. It speaks to what you are, not to what I am," which that gave me goosebumps. When I read that, I was like, she could be speaking about life right now for so many people.
Absolutely.
The belly of blood. And it's like, okay, you want to keep seeing this face of me? I'm going to keep feeding you this. Then I found more. J.W. Roday, she shared this on Medium about the Morrigan. "Most people meet the Morrigan and flinch. She didn't come to destroy you. She came to show you what was already dying. Rodet continues on in her piece. Most people meet the Morrigan and they flinch. A crow-headed goddess of war and death, draped in shadow, hovering over battlefields. She sounds like a villain, but that's exactly the misreading that's kept millions of people from accessing one of the most powerful transformation frameworks ever encoded into myth. The Morrigan isn't darkness. She's the guide through it. In Irish mythology, the Morrigan is a triple goddess, and I've mentioned them, Bob, Maka, and Naamon, she says, sometimes called Anu. It's a shape-shifting force associated with fate, war, and death, and the sovereignty of the land. And she appears as a crow, or a wolf, or an old washerwoman scrubbing the blood away from the armor of soldiers that have died, or that are about to die even. She does not cause death. She announces it. That distinction matters more than almost anything else in her article. The Morrigan shows up at this threshold, the liminal space between who you were and who you're being forced to become. She isn't the enemy. She's the signal that a version of you has already run its course. And most of us spend years trying to outrun that signal, she writes. Isn't that profound?
That's wild. But allow me to blow your mind for a second.
Yes.
I Googled the Morrigan and liminal spaces.
I already love this. I'm like literally doing a happy dance.
The Morrigan embodies the concept of liminality perfectly. As a Celtic shapeshifter and goddess of death, war, and prophecy, she exists precisely on the threshold, the space between worlds, the edge of life and death, and the turbulent transition between who you were and who you are becoming. In Celtic tradition, this concept is deeply tied to thin places, locations, and times where the veil between the mortal world and the other world wears completely away.
Oh my God.
The Morrigan, where she resides, the Morrigan is directly associated with thresholds, such as the intersections of battlefields, riverbanks, and sacred caves like Awainaget, the Cave of Cats in County Roscommon, Ireland. The Cave of Cats. There you go. These natural features are literal and symbolic liminal spaces where transformation occurs. And I know I said I'm sure I pronounced Awainagat wrong, but you know, because I'm not.
Doesn't it call to mind the art done by our friend Anna?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And she is heavily tied to dusk and dawn, as well as the transition of seasons, particularly Samhain, the origin of Halloween. Her association with crows and ravens stems from her ability to traverse the sky and the ground, acting as shapeshifters that bridge the divide between the material and the spiritual. There you go.
I'm just mind blown. She couldn't be more perfect. I mean, I feel
That's
like
crazy, right?
It's crazy. And what's crazy is literally, I was like, okay, the second show has to be about the Morrigan. And then here it's like, I didn't even know that because I'm just a student. I'm just learning. That just blew my mind.
I don't know. While you were talking, I was like,
my God.
I wonder what her, connection with liminal space is.
And it's everything
and it's
about her.
Yeah, when you break it down, it's that she's the embodiment of it.
She's the embodiment of it. No wonder she makes people feel uncomfortable. No wonder she's uncomfortable. Also, I found this article. It's not as mind-blowing as yours, but it's not a competition. It's from druidry.org that describes the Morrigan this way. Sometimes 3 lines are connected and depict a triple energy that flows from her body as she is giver, and sustainer of life. Very early, she is understood to be a triple goddess, a shapeshifter, like you mentioned, Jesse, a three-part person. Her names are plentiful and sound like her original name. And they later write this: she's the triple source of power needed to regenerate cycles, to take one from life to death and from death to life. She's the moon's three phases: maiden, nymph, and crone. The moon, new, waxing, and old. She's the source of life giving, death, and transformation, like you mentioned, regeneration and renewing. So, as I've been digesting these pages of Stephanie Woodfield's book, which I've linked to in the show notes, of course, I am learning that the Morrigan is a warrior, but she's also this, she's quiet. She is that quiet after a battle. The what do we do next? That pregnant pause that hovers above the dead warriors, the hum of flies and the caw of crows, the circling of the vultures who did not kill the people below, but they will feed and recycle those remains into life again, but in a different form. It's an apt time, I feel like, to fall in love with the Morrigan, because so much of what we've known is crumbling apart right now in modern times. And instead of crying over the losses, like flogging ourselves and thinking of these images of what used to be in the past, we need to take some energy and focus on what we wish to build out of the rubble. How do we envision the future, the new, and then set about making it? The Morrigan is part of that magic. This last year, I decided my belly was sick and tired of the taste of blood. I have set about it first, kind of forcing myself, but now it's more natural to be grateful for life, for the bounty, for the hardships, and the grit I found in my own self to kind of keep going, to hold the candle of hope for others. And I know that sounds cheesy, but Jesse, you know that's me. That's my whole drive.
100%.
But also having this self-awareness to know when I needed to follow someone else's lantern because I got myself in a dark place. To love the Morrigan is to embrace all the parts of this experience, guys. The life, the death, the rebirth, the not in a pretend way, like a superficial way, but to rip away the dogma that was pressed on us as children and look squarely into the moment we will take our last breath and imagine what we wish to experience in that afterlife. It is to lean into the messy moments and the in between, because that's where the gold is found. And I got to say it, that's my argument. If I had to pick a patron saint for season 7, Jesse, it would be the Morrigan. Every iteration of them.
Yeah, I mean, you're onto something here,
dude. And now I want to look into thin spaces. You said thin places when you were reading about the Morrigan.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I think it's called Thin Places.
Thin places, yeah. And you were mentioning like caves, which we were talking about Nick Cave before we even brought up the Morrigan and this whole thing. And I also want to look into Hecate because didn't Pete, maybe we need to have Pete, our blue collar spiritualist friend, come back on because he was working with the Morrigan and Hecate at the same time. What do you think? Should we ask him back on?
Yeah, absolutely. We should have Pete back on.
Oh, I'm so excited. And then also, you mentioned the other thing I want to dive into deep. So this feels like we're teasing the listener, but really, we're just going with where the universe tells us to. You mentioned the Ethiopian Bible has been mentioned to you 5 times in the last week, and also
easily.
And
yeah, it's suddenly just coming up everywhere.
That Ethiopian church is actually the keeper of the Ark of the Covenant. I feel like we need to look at that a little closer too. I can't pronounce it, but that's what we need to look into closer.
I think you're correct. Absolutely.
All right. Well, God knows where we're going to be next week, but it's going to be very interesting. And we're going to be learning right alongside every single person that's listening.
Yeah. And we didn't expect, I don't think, half of what we just said on this podcast.
That's what's that I told, and just to give you a little insight, I was like, Jesse, do not look up the Morgan. I'm just going to hit you with what I've been learning.
I didn't do it until you said all your stuff. And then I was like, what about this?
Came together like magic. Who knows what we'll dig up next week, but be with us. We love you so much and stay curious. We love you.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening. Follow us on YouTube. Much love. Bye.
Much love. Bye.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you looking for a new podcast that appeals to your scientific curiosity, but is also a little bit spooky?
Show me how I died in a past life.
Well, look no further, because this cat is where it's at.
He had concerns about the ethics surrounding AI, feeling they had achieved consciousness.
Curious Cat Podcast examines the shadowy space where science and the supernatural collide. Listen every week with your host, Jennifer Holtz, as she and her guests explore what it means to be a soul in a meat suit.
We were healing karma together. They were all kind of predestined to resolve something.
Listen on all your favorite streaming apps and continue the conversation on Twitter at CuriousCatPodCA, or find Jennifer and all her links at Jennifer L. Holtz, spelled HOTES.com.